Hi, my name's Paul Sims, and I'm really excited that you're here today. We're about to go on a fascinating journey to learn about one company and what it's been able to do in the world of both technology and humanity. But before I do that, let's just quickly think about the situation we're in today. COVID-19 has obviously turned our world upside down, and I believe that we're not going to go back to the world that we once saw. There's no such thing as a new normal. In fact, I think there's going to be a series of new normals, because even once we've sorted out the health side of this pandemic, there's going to be further health issues. Of course, there's going to be economic issues and even political issues going forward. So being successful in this new world is not necessarily about having the best made business plan and being able to focus and deliver it. It's about doing that thing that Darwin said. It's about being adaptable as the species that survives, not necessarily the strongest. So one of the things we often talk about, of course, is agility. That's the way in which we can be flexible, iterative as we go about our business and ensure that we adapt to the marketplace. But there is another technology called AI, which effectively is agility far faster and far better than any human being can cope with. With the number of different data sets, with the confusion that we have in our world, a computer can actually determine what the next best course of action far better than humans can. And that's why I'm so excited that I'm here today introducing a company called OKRA, which is based in Cambridge, UK, and I believe poised to do some serious damage in our life sciences industry. What excites me about the company is not that they just have best-in-class technology, their AI is indeed the most intelligent, but also that it approaches AI in a more human way, and we all know that's absolutely essential to any digital transformation. This is a technology company that isn't just trying to replace the humans that we have within our business, it's trying to empower them. I'm really excited now to introduce Lubna, the CEO of OKRA, who's going to take us on a fascinating journey through some of the work this company's been doing and the incredible journey it still has ahead of it. Over to you.
Hi everybody. OKRA is an organization which is best-in-class artificial intelligence. What does this even mean? Cambridge and Leiden have both been the source of so many of the world's most transformative healthcare discoveries, from DNA to IVF to the Big Bang. And in Cambridge and Leiden today, leading scientists tell us that the way we understand healthcare will shortly be unrecognizable. This is where OKRA comes into the picture for you. Will you join us? Join OKRA to take you to the future. In this process, we will make everything as simple as possible for you, and we will show you how to embrace the unprecedented beneficial changes that AI will inevitably bring, not in 10 years' time, but now, today. How do we achieve this? OKRA is creating the brain of your organization, the same brain which controls the eyes and ears and operates the hands and feet through the sophisticated learning and memory functions. OKRA's Demo Day is here to show you just how we are making the future today. Jeroen, my colleague and Chief Technology Officer, will show you how we make this happen.
Thank you, Lubna. This is a great opportunity to see how we at OKRA have developed AI that can become the compass which will allow you to navigate both the old world and the new. In working with you, we will help you build a data infrastructure that puts you on a much better foundation for all of your future work. We have been able to do some revolutionary things so far with AI in life sciences. For example, we've been able to make predictions, sometimes several years out, processing data in such a way that allows us to identify highly distinctive and predictive events with accuracies above 90%. The benefits can be life-changing, and importantly, they are also measurable. We have been able to extract features in our data pipeline, using data from multiple data sources and across multiple domains. We cover prescriptions, CRM activity, demographics, clinical trials, scientific share of voice, and clinical outcomes, and we somehow make sense of what it all means. Currently, most data is not collected to train algorithms, but is collected for transactional activity and workflow purposes. You will have come across them scattered over many datasets and systems. Our pipeline synthesizes and translates scattered datasets into meaningful features so that they can be used for AI algorithms to learn from. Let me introduce you to the cutting-edge technology that OKRA utilizes to make all of the above happen for you. Many of you watching will know that not all AI is made equal. Deep AI is very different from rules-based AI. All of OKRA's products are based on deep non-metric AI, because the smartest intelligence is the one that figured it out all on its own. We don't give our AI rules, and we don't tell our AI what to do or what data to include or exclude. We simply provide the available data and the smartest brain and let it learn by itself. This allows the OKRA engine to constantly adapt and learn according to the latest data and patterns. The OKRA engine is the first chapter of the journey we are on at OKRA. Having great intelligence is not everything. In fact, the OKRA engine is just one of 3 things that make OKRA's AI different. I'll hand it over to Julia, our data engineer, to tell us more.
At OKRA, we are already making use of all sorts of data in the public and private domain, collected globally to generate evidence in real time for our clients. From environmental data, clinical prevalence, and much more. We can accurately predict the number of patients that need treatments across multiple geographies and markets. Without AI, the connection would not have been made at the speed required. But it is not made because of the computer being smart alone, but because of how we gather data at OKRA and model it correctly before feeding it to our algorithms. Can you imagine how much knowledge you have at the moment hidden in your data? Let me walk you through the construction of the AI brain we will build for you. The challenge is, when a new client begins working with us, they need to capture data from several internal sources, and invariably that data comes to us in a very messy form. At OKRA, messy is okay. Our job is to make it as neat as possible and map it to the relevant sources to get the job done. Just as the body extracts nutrients from food, we extract what we need from the data to enrich your knowledge. But we do not rely on the data you produce alone. That would be really limiting, as there is so much data produced every day that when combined with your company's data can lead to unprecedented insights. This is the next stage of your company's individual brain, the osmotic process that data undergo in OKRA's data lake. This is where all the data available are gathered together, creating a massive amount of information that our deep learning systems will use to suggest personalised predictions on all the issues your company is working on. OKRA's pipeline is the next stop. There, we make sure that all the data is prepared and organised. It's where we gather all client data, link it to the public domain and third-party data, before we enrich it, standardise it, and profile it, ready for our AI models. And this is the critical reason why, as Jeroen said, working with OKRA helps to improve your infrastructure and bring it to the next level. OKRA's pipeline has a rare feature. It continues to get better and better over time. In fact, over the past year, our work on the OKRA pipeline has enabled the average setup time for each client to go from 12 to just 4 weeks, without any corresponding loss in the authenticity and uniformity of data. That means that clients can begin to see the influence of the technology quickly, which we will all know is critical for digital transformation. Let me tell you how it works. Through the pipeline, we get to a place of clean, uniform data with new capabilities that make it perfect to work with the OKRA engine. We see this as the arteries of the organisation, ensuring everything works together seamlessly. There is essentially 5 parts of the pipeline: data joining, feature extraction, data modelling, predictions, and suggestion generation. Data joining is where we combine your data with third-party datasets and use this to generate new features. One issue with data is that it's usually collected for different purposes. We have unique feature extraction algorithms that allow for detecting change and outliers more accurately. Modelling is where these features are used to train algorithms to find and interpret patterns in the data. Predictions are where the algorithms are applied to historic data and then extrapolated to determine the situation in the future. And finally, suggestion generation is where the predictions are combined with further information to provide recommended actions for individuals and explain the reasons behind those signals. However, there is one final and essential component. All this work counts for nothing unless we trust the computer enough to act on the suggestions being given. And to obtain that trust, we need something else. Jan Jitse, one of OKRA's data scientists, will tell us more.
So one of the things we're proudest of at OKRA is our hybrid explainability engine. We see this as the mouth of our organization, telling you what you need to know. What does explainable AI mean for us at OKRA? Well, let's start by thinking about intelligence. Generally, we trust human intelligence because we're familiar with ourselves and with the human brain. We trust what is familiar and what resembles us. As a result, we trust that humans can provide clever solutions. But what about artificial, non-human intelligence? How can you trust the intelligence of a computer when you do not share its inner workings of its digital brain? When you have super smart AI, like we do at OKRA, you might wonder how it came up with a particular recommendation, especially if it was different to what you were expecting. The more complicated and unexpected something is, the more effort is needed to explain it. The truth is that you will only trust that information if you can ask why and get a good answer that you fully understand, in human terms. You need the mouth to explain clearly and with authority. This ability to explain is crucial in building trust. And more than anything else, this is why OKRA's technology has been able to get much higher traction with those who use our systems compared to anyone else working in the sector. Because through being able to offer explanations we can trust, we stay connected with one another and in control. But producing great explainability takes a lot of work. It's not just about translating complex algorithms into simple language. It's also about working out the real cost for a recommendation. For example, a doctor prescribes 100 more inhalers for his asthma patients in April. Human intelligence equates this to memory. In April, there's a rise in pollen. However, our explainability engine recognizes that alongside pollen, there's actually a concerning rise in increased pollution levels from a nearby plant. Working with OKRA, you will be able to gain unique insights that you will also be able to fully understand and use to your company's benefit. Our hybrid explainability engine isn't just about talking to you. It's all about a great user interface, which makes things easy for you. Let me introduce Anna from our user experience team to tell you more.
At OKRA, we want the very best possible user experience. Why? Because as with all digital transformations, it is never just about the technology. It is about technology that offers tools for everyday people to use in an effortless way. OKRA's human-centered design includes understanding the nature of evolving multidisciplinary teams within the life science companies. Not just now, but also as teams change behavior at using our products. What is unique in OKRA's approach is how the tools grow with the teams as they become more advanced at using them. OKRA's AI works at human level without losing its capacity to offer groundbreaking solutions. As Charles Kettering once said, a problem well started is a problem half solved.
Thank you, Anna. As you can tell, OKRA is taking a unique approach when it comes to the key building blocks that underpin healthcare practice. We have a constantly improving pipeline, Arteries, where we capture data from internal and open sources, enrich it, profile it, and organize it so it's ready for our AI models. We have our deep AI engine, our heart, where our models run and generate predictions, suggestions, and reasons. It's where our insights are generated. And finally, we have our explainability engine, portal and web infrastructure, our voice, where users can access our insights and models. Together, this provides OKRA with the most robust approach on the market. We have achieved great things in the past year, and our data scientists and engineers are proud of our continued innovation as we onboard new data sets in many markets all over the world, slashing our delivery time for our new and existing clients by more than 50%. Back to you, Lubna.
I hope you have enjoyed hearing from few of our revolutionaries. who are engaged in bringing about the fourth industrial age. Artificial intelligence has rightly become the science of the future because it promises that life sciences will deliver miracles, helping us finally reach our potential. We are the AI engineers for life sciences. We live and breathe the challenges of our industry every single day. We make AI simple, offering you the benefits and taking away the headache. This is not a niche consulting product that will prove one of the same, but a true opportunity to harness the magic of AI automation. Now,